wonderfully wonderful science fiction theater of the imagination proudly presents Extreme Gravity, the new radio play written by J.D. Evans Jr., starring Elvis D. Tripp and his traveling troupe of strange voices, and featuring the musical stylings of Milford Whittle and his finger puppet marching band, with sua sponte, silly announcements by Warple the Potato. We continue with Chapter 16, Lolla Waigi and the Imperial Director. Lolla Waigi began life as a water lily in a small pond in the land of Down Under, or Australia as it is commonly known. She enjoyed being a water lily, but like Pinocchio, the wooden boy, Lola longed to be a little girl and to have arms, legs, and a proper nose so she could explore the entire world, even the part where there was no water. Lola thought about this dream nearly constantly, and, in fact, thought about it with such intensity that Ogly Nogly, the keeper of the space-time tunnel, heard her dreams and decided to make them come true. Ogly Nogly had authorities and powers as keeper of the space-time tunnel and proprietor of the owner's manual in the glove compartment of the beautiful black high-heel slipper with an open toe and a cute ankle strap. And among these authorities and powers was the ability to make certain dreams come true. When he decided to be a dream maker, Ogly Nogly only had to think about the dream and play a few notes with his magical clacking stick and dream didgeridoo, which he did. No sooner than you could blink an eye, Lolla Waigi, the water lily, transformed into a little girl and was very happy, with his happiness lasting for several days and weeks until, as was the case, Lolla Waigi once again became a water lily, much to her initial dismay. As he always did, Ogly Nogly was keeping an eye on his latest dream and immediately appeared before Lolla Waigi and told her the water lily phase would last a while but not so long, really, and that it was a necessary aspect of her new life as a water lily girl. Ogly Nogly explained the rule by saying,
"For many days and weeks at a time, you will be a little girl, and then after a while, a young woman. But the way dreams work in the space-time tunnel always makes it necessary to revert to your true self so there are no confusions. And this is when you will revert to being a water lily for another while. As part of this, you now have special powers and talents which include being able to mind speak and to communicate with fragrances and olfactory sensations. You also are allowed certain types of motion, which will enable you to move even when you are in your water lily phase."
Lolla Waigi was pleased and very happy overall, and soon began exploring her new abilities when she was in her water lily phase. One of the first things she did was to create magical perfumes, which for lack of a better name she called magical perfumes. And these magical perfumes soon pervaded the area around the small pond where she enjoyed visiting when she was in her plant phase. Over the years, Lolla Waigi grew into a woman and improved her fragrance and perfume-making skills when she was in her water lily phase, until one day she was having a grand time making recently concocted fragrances and perfumes that soon pervaded the area around the small pond. Coincidentally, as it was a nice sunny day, the Imperial Director was taking a stroll by the small pond and began smelling what he thought were wonderful flower perfumes. Intrigued immensely by this, the Imperial Director thought to himself,
"If this were the perfume of a woman, I would want her to be around me constantly, 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 constantly."
as if she were hearing the word with ears, which, unlike their corn cousins, water lilies did not have. Lolla Waigi replied, The Imperial Director was surprised and responded,
"How wonderful! If I might inquire, where are you? And more importantly, what are you?"
Lolla Waigi heard this and replied,
"Oh yes, I see you now. What a wonderful perfume you have." Consider me enticed completely and totally. I can do that, and as I do not have a consort currently, you can be my new consort, if you agree, of course.
The Imperial Director said a few words into his miniature Universatone Galactic radio with a miniature Universatone Galactic Broadcaster Master microphone, and quicker than a Neapolitan solar flash, a suitably small container with water and soil appeared. The Imperial Director waded into the small pond and scooped Lolla Waigi into this quite suitable container with water and soil. And then the two of them left the small pond, and the Imperial Director held Lolla Waigi's quite suitable container with water, soil, and Lolla Waigi herself, and then started a conversation.
I have a very nice palette, and that's where we are going. I think you will like it, and I have a room which will be very suitable, since it's private and well protected.
Lolla Waigi responded with the release of a particularly exciting fragrance, and the Imperial Director increased his walking and then started running. Soon the Imperial Director and Lolla Waigi were in the Imperial Director's palace, in the room where he and Lolla Waigi were going to be spending a lot of time.
This is our room, and I hope you find it suitable.
To the extent she could survey the room using her water lily senses, Lolla Waigi decided the room was very good and would do nicely for whatever the Imperial Director had in mind, which Lolla Waigi was beginning to suspect. The Imperial Director remarked the room had a high ceiling and windows that let the sunlight shine when the curtains were open, and Lolla Waigi observed that in her plant phase she needed plenty of sunlight. It was around this time that Lolla Waigi suddenly became a woman and was able to stroll around the room and notice even more things.
I have the finest beverages and food, and I like to spend time in this room, lounging and having happy thoughts like all I am having now.
The Imperial Director told Lolla Waigi about the happy thought he was having, and Lolla Waigi was as enthused about it as she was excited, because from the perspective of a water lily, too much could not be said or imagined about the activities involved in creating new water lilies. This was a new activity for both the Imperial Director and Lolla Waigi, at least with a human and a water lily in its human phase. But they proceeded and soon got the hang of it, so to speak. The more excited Lolla Waigi became, the more fragrances and perfume she exuded, and this greatly enticed the Imperial Director. As the saying goes, this was a match made in heaven, specifically by Ogly Nogly, the beautiful black high-heel slipper with open toe and cute ankle strap, and its glove compartment owner's manual with the extra page marked this page intentionally left blank. The page that Ilgon Ilgo desired so strongly to read, but never was able to read. Ogly Nogly was pleased with its work, and the Imperial Director and Lolla Waigi were busy making water lily babies. And thus ends the 16th chapter of Extreme Gravity, Lolla Waigi and the Imperial Director. Stay tuned for the next chapter, Much Ado About Something. This has been brought to you by the fabulously fabulous, marvelously marvelous, wonderfully wonderful science fiction theater of the imagination.